the headphones on. Oh, okay. All right, okay. Welcome to another episode of Excuse Me, I'm Speaking. Yeah, I'm so excited for today's show. I say that every week, but I'm really excited this week. Yeah, I have a special guest. But before we get into that, yeah, this is your host. She is Twinkle. Call me Antoinette, call me Twinkle. As long as you're calling my name, that's all that matters. Yeah, yes. So if you listened to last week's episode, I did promise that we would have a special guest. And y'all already know what today's episode is going to be about. But before I get into that, our special guest is in the building.
All right.
Without further ado, in the microphone.
So welcome. My name is Marlena Watson. Everybody knows me as Nina. However, I've been called other names as well. But
Okay. So I gotta ask before we get started. Now, first of all, to everybody out there, she is a friend of the show. She is a supporter of the show. I love her. I don't know who she's referring to me as today. So if we could clarify that.
So she is Twinkle. She is also my niece.
Mm-hmm. I've been your niece, your cousin, your friend.
All that. Because sometimes we forget. However, we're family.
We are family. We have great conversations, and I thought you would be perfect for today's topic. Our conversations be all over the place, but today we're going to get it together.
That's
okay?
Right.
Okay. So today is our love-based episode because, as y'all know, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. And I was already ready for today's episode. So y'all already know. Today is going to be about love.
Yes.
Or is it lust?
Yes. Or what about the hype of social media?
Love, lust, or social media.
That's right.
Okay. But before we dig into that, because obviously we're going to, I'm going to start off with the haters. So I addressed y'all last week. And I'm not trying to male bash, but typically I hear men say this. They say, I don't believe in Valentine's Day. I do stuff for my girl every single day of the year. We don't need no special day, so I'm not doing it. Now, yeah, I feel some type of way about that, but how do you feel about the people that say that?
Well, I think that every woman wants to be treated like a princess, and we want to be given gifts, or to have gifts and to be treated like we're special, but not just for that one day, but we kind of want that all the time anyway. So why does it have to be, in particular, a certain day? However, because of the hype of Valentine's Day, we definitely want to make sure that we get something so that we can feel some kind of way and show it. Put it out there. You know, look at me. Hey, I got teddy
like
bear.
Those people that like get flowers delivered to the job.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You're like, why you didn't buy me?
Yeah,
no
where's
flowers?
my flowers?
Like,
not
I
to
know
mention,
you got paid today.
And not to mention what color flowers. We got yellow, we got red, we got white.
They can't send the red too soon.
That's
like,
right.
Oh,
Yellow was friendship. Yeah, you know. So here we are, you know, at that moment of that one day where the single women feel left out. The married women feel this is not enough. I've been with him for 10 years and I've been getting the same thing for 10 years. So,
and oddly enough, the older women that have been married forever, they're like, I don't care. Interesting. Okay. So now, there's a lot of people out there that's like, that's just a made-up holiday. I don't even know who came up with that. Like, I'm not celebrating it. Now, first of all, let me start off by telling y'all, I got some family members that literally have said, oh, yeah, back in the day, I used to break up with my girl right before Valentine's Day because I ain't buying her nothing. Now, they weren't cheap. It's not like they didn't have the funds, but I feel like if they didn't want to be with you on Valentine's Day or your birthday or Christmas, like, you just didn't mean anything to them. Am I wrong?
I think that it's a pro and a con with that because I think it really starts right before the holidays. Because at that time, you know, first you get into the, okay, it's cuffing season.
It's cold outside.
It's cold outside. You gotta get somebody to warm up with.
You had a hot girl summer.
Because you've been hot all summer.
Okay, you were single.
That's right.
You wasn't single, saved, and satisfied.
So now the seasons change. Now our feelings and emotions are changing. So then,
chilly.
there you go. And so at that point, you get caught up in these situations, and then by 30 to 60 days, you're like, oh, this ain't even what I was looking for. Like, I don't even like him. I don't even like her. So then they find their way out of it because, I got to buy her a gift. Now she's going to be expecting something for Christmas.
I never thought of it that way.
Yes.
Like the fall is like that little 60 to 30. 30 to 60 days. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, do I really want to bring her around my family on Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
I mean, on
so you know your purpose with a man's life at that point, because if they don't bring you around Thanksgiving,
everything is back to back. Thanksgiving, Christmas. Do I want to bring in the New Year with you? Okay.
Because even the New Year means something. And then there's Valentine's Day. So that part of the year determines where you are with a person.
This is true. Okay.
That's right.
Okay. So, dang. Okay. I never
are
thought
we
of
hanging
that.
in there or are we not?
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So, we said love social media. What did you mean by social media?
Well, I think that social media hypes it up. It kind of shows where you have the happy couples. He comes in, there's roses all on the floor, the tub, the bath water's ready, the wine.
Somebody in the background recorded the whole video.
Exactly. And this is all more so of a facade because they're trying to get paid for this. You know, they're hyping up their Instagram or what is it? What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know, their Instagram, their live feed.
Their likes, so that, you know.
Oh, their likes, okay.
There you go. And so then there's that facade of how it's supposed to look. And so every woman gets caught up in that image of how love is supposed to be.
Do you think men get caught up in it?
Men
Because
get
I think
caught
it's
up
an
in
ego
it, too.
thing for men. Like, look what I did.
Yeah. And then this is this perfect woman. She's long hair, pretty built, big booty, big breasts. You know, I got the perfect woman. I got the perfect gifts. I laid it all out. This is what it's supposed to be
You
like.
put it on your highlight reel.
Exactly.
But don't nobody know. Y'all could be the most abusive, like, domestic violence, like, cheating couple and, like, be miserable all the other days of the year.
Yeah, don't know why or how these roses came about. Or, you know, you got the men showing out with the helicopter rides and this and that. This could all be fake, too. It could just be somebody
it could be real, but most of the time.
Yeah.
But doing
how do we know? It's all a front.
Okay, so since we've been talking about social media, you personally, have you ever logged on to social media on Valentine's Day, and we're telling the truth, because I'll tell the truth after, have you ever felt any type of way about seeing people's postings?
Absolutely, girl, yes. Let me tell you, I have been single for a while. And in the midst of my singleness, when I see something that I'm like, how did she get a man, or he with her, you know, and I'm like, dang, and I'm still single. What is going on? And so, you know, you feel some kind of way because you're like, you're still by yourself, and you want those flowers, you want
you
candy.
deserve it.
Absolutely. You know, I want to go to dinner. I want to dress up in a little pretty red dress, and, you know, Johnny Gill, put your red dress on, your red lipstick. You know, I want to let my hair down and feel the vibe. However, I'm not getting that. And so I'm sitting here, and I'm like, am I being too picky? You know, my standards are too high? What am I doing? However, I have to remind myself that I'm not settling either. Nothing personal against the men. It's just that it's something that I am looking for, and I'm very detailed about it. So, yes, it hurts that you would see everybody else, you know, glorifying this day, their moment. They're getting, you know, all these great things. But you're looking at people that have been together for 10 and 15 years at my age. You know, at this point in my life, it's like they've been through all kind of hell and high water. I don't know where these, you know, what these flowers represent, or I don't know what these gifts or new cars or, you know, Valentine's Day, that brand new ring because we're replacing that old ring. I don't know where all that.
You see the picture, but you don't know the story.
Don't know the story. And so it's just that one day. And I remember one day having to deal with that one day. I didn't go on social media. I didn't talk to nobody. I just kind of stayed to myself. And I just had to remember to love me. And I ended up treating myself. That wasn't fun either. However, I learned how to deal with it. I adjusted to it. Now here I am, still single. Valentine's Day is coming up. And it don't even bother me at this point in my life no more. It's not that big of a hype. Because you got to grow. You got to learn how to deal with love. What is really love? How do we take in love?
We're going to get into that.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, so for me, being married, have I ever felt any type of way? No, I really don't. And I'm going to be honest, y'all, because I am like the most frugal person in the world. And I like, do you know how much roses cost? Like, and a brand new car? Like, if you just happen to need a new car, then okay, cool. But like, I'm not about to spend all this money. Like, Whitney got me my dog for Valentine's Day like 2 years ago, and I love him. But when I looked at that dog when he walked up to me, it was like, surprise, happy Valentine's Day. And it was a Yorkie, and like, Yorkies ain't cheap. And I'm like, I looked at him and I turned around like, this is not real. Like, this is not I thought I was being punked. Like, you done took somebody else's dog and you're like playing a prank on me.
Right.
And he was like, no, like, you wanted it and like, happy Valentine's Day. And I was like, I just saw dollar signs. And I know that he was doing it because, you know, it was like, I really wanted it and it was my gift. And, you know, Bentley like brought a lot of like joy and stuff. So I was happy about it. But I don't even know if I even ended up posting him. Like, but
see, and that goes back to why men feel the way that they feel about the day. However, then you got people like me looking at it on a whole different perspective.
Right.
Oh, how that's so sweet. Like, dang, I wish I could have got a dog.
See, and I think it was you know, sometimes they tell you to live in the moment. Like, don't like think about all the extra. Like, I think about that type of stuff. I can't help it. That's the way my mind is wired. So I'm just like, you know, like, that was really nice and really sweet. And I do love the dog, but I ain't that attached yet. Like, don't we got 3 days to take him back?
Like, we got bills to pay.
Yeah. And he was like, no, don't worry about it. Don't trip. Like, we got it. Like, I'm not even going to tell you the price tag of it. Like, it is fine. It will be fine. And I know you've been wanting a dog way before Valentine's Day. And we had a little, like, raggedy dog before that, but I didn't want it anymore. But it was like, he, like, wanted to, like, fulfill that, like, need for me that I had. And so I thought it was sweet. But then it's like, we've had simple Valentine's Day. We have, like, a picnic in the house. Like, it's not all about, like, the biggest price tag. So I was okay with it, and I accepted the gift and was in the moment. So, yeah. I suppose it was good. Okay, so enough of social media, y'all. Let's move into lust. Lust. I think a lot of people think they're in love, and they're in lust. What is... Now, I looked up the definition of lust because I wanted to be correct for those people that think that they are in love and they're actually in lust. It says, lust is mainly sexual or physical with no desire to bond with the person on a deeper level. If you ask me, now correct me if I'm wrong, in 2023, and a few years before, with social media, with the whole dating sphere, I feel like that's what people are looking for. It is like solely lust-based.
It's accepted. Okay. In all forms, fashion, shapes. It don't matter. It's accepted. And the reason why it's accepted is because we have social media. And we have
Facebook. I think it's because of those apps.
I believe so too. The dating.
Dating? It's not dating websites anymore. It's apps now. Like what they said, swipe left. Tinder? Is that Tinder?
That's Tinder.
It's literally like you want to hook up or you don't want to hook up. That's very straightforward. Or do you want to be friends?
Yeah, and there's so many different levels of that because you're looking at lust in so many different kind of ways. Oh, girl, he knows. He just that, you know, that dude I call every once in a while to hook up with.
Toy.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's accepted. It's like, don't get your feelings involved because you already know what this was when we first hooked up. So lust
But does that ever go right? Because typically
it's a temporary feeling.
But the feelings usually start getting involved after a while.
They do.
So who's to blame?
Yourself. Because no one's in control but you.
But if I went into a situationship one way and we said, I'm not really looking for nothing, you know, this is just casual. I can't help that my feelings change. And if I'm honest with you and tell you that my feelings change, like, how is that my fault?
I think that when you're intertwining, then you're dealing with those spirits. So automatically, you're going to have some type of feeling because that lust is a deep feeling. It's temporary, but it comes, you keep wanting it. It's like a drug. You become addicted to it. You like the feeling of it. And I think that it's hard because as a single woman, you're desiring it, but you're lying to yourself at the same time. And it's like you're okay for a couple of days and then you want it again. It becomes that addiction because you're trying to be okay with being lonely, but you still want that satisfaction. So it's like a mental, it's like an up and down thing. You're going up and down with your emotions. And it becomes very traumatizing because at some point somebody's going to get hurt.
So you think that people fall in love with the idea of being in love while in lust?
And don't know the meaning of love, because how are you loving and lusting something when you don't even love you? And that's, I think, where you have to really understand, how do you love or lust something when something is not in you to even give it?
Are you getting to the point of they don't love them because they're settling for somebody that won't commit to them?
Well, you're not even loving yourself because you're accepting, you're settling for how a person treats you. You're allowing yourself to, you're allowing these low standards when you really should set yourself up high. And that's why I say maybe my standards are too high. You know, I'm not somebody's just, oh, I'm going to come over and hang out with you tonight and then I don't hear from you in 2 weeks. I'm not accepting that. I think my standards should be high, and I love myself enough to know that this is not what I want. Love is real. My children are love. You know, that's real love. I'm going to love my children to the very end because it's in me to love my kids. But how can I love a person I don't even know? How do I know that they even love themselves? Obviously, we're connecting.
Well, the people feel like they love them because, okay, obviously they done hooked up with them a million times. They spend some time with them. They look good together in pictures.
Oh, yeah.
And they like the idea of, like, sometimes I can talk to you, like, we laugh a little. Like, I like what this togetherness feels like. And it's very comfortable for me, and it gives me the butterflies on the inside. And so I'm growing to love you the more time we spend together. Like, I don't want this to end, so it must be love.
But you're in a situationship. So,
not a relationship.
Not a relationship. And then when do you put, or like the boundaries? So when do those boundaries become like the reality of it? Where are we going from here? Who am I in your life? You know, how important am I? Why are you hearting all these pictures of these other women? Where's my picture at? You know.
What do you think dating, what is your thoughts on dating in today's society? Because first of all, I think that, like, I'm like happy that I'm married now.
You should be.
I'm just like, I'm not good at dating at all. Like, I can even think to, like, when me and my husband were dating in college, like, I get tired of somebody in 2.5 seconds. Like, you're boring. You're saying the same thing as this person. Oh, what's up? What you doing? Like, oh, you want to chill? No, I want you to take me out to eat. Like, you know, like, and like, you're all over the place. Like, I don't even think you're looking for something serious. And like, it's too much going on. It's too many things out here. Okay. So then I attached to somebody like my husband, and it was like, okay, finally we can close that door because they got too much going on out here, and I can't keep up with that lifestyle. Okay.
Dating is a lot of work. Basically, the dating game is not for me. It's not. This is a different type of whole new me. I love my peace. I love that I don't have to answer to anybody. But when I get out here and start meeting people, I'll be ready to run back home because it is so scary. First of all, at my age, why are you single? For me, been married, dated again, 10 years, and now here I am. So, for me, it's like, that's my story. What's your story? Was I perfect? No, absolutely not. There was a lot of growth that I needed and a lot of maturity that I had to deal with within myself. And I think that's why it's very good before you even start dating to really find that spiritual place and love you. Dig deep within yourself, because we always say that it's men this, he's a mama's boy, he's got issues, he's traumatized. We all are. And that's why we connect.
Okay. Because I've said a million times, this person's like, oh my gosh, crying tears. I was just so in love, and he broke my heart, and and like we were meant to be together,
No,
and I'm not
leaving.
Or they say, I'm his ride or die. I don't care. He can do whatever to me. We still gonna be together. We gonna fight, and we gonna work this thing out because I love him and he loved me. I don't care if he was with that other girl or he did this, and that. And it's like, are you in love or are you trauma bonded?
Or
that's Blueface. Blueface and his girlfriend.
That's deep.
I talked about it on last week's episode. I ended up watching their show, Crazy in Love.
Oh yeah, they need healing.
I think they both have been
They need
through
to
a lot
be
of
separated from
trauma.
each other. Yeah, because I think when you really separate yourself from what you've been so used to being with, we can go from the beginning to mama, daddy, mother carrying you in the womb trauma. It goes back from generation to generation to generation, and somewhere down the line, you have to break that curse because I think that we continue to pick up the same type of men that we're used to in the home, and it may not be the
or
same.
Some people do the total opposite.
They do, and because I think that they realize what they want and they know who they are, and then sometimes it's a lot of ancestors praying over your life, and you just get blessed with that great person. But I think deep down inside, it's what you really want and how you really want it. And I think that the trauma comes from, us as women, we're such empaths, and we pick up and we want to help, and we want to do this, and we want to, oh, he's such a nice guy, but he's got this, that, and this wrong with him, and I just want to help him. And,
But I think that's because there's something in you
that's not healed. And
exactly.
It's attracting
and
what he has.
You're connecting to it. Like, you understand this emotion that he is exuding because you felt that emotion.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, okay, I can help him and myself at the same time. Or maybe helping him will help me. Like, I don't think a lot of men talk about the emotional aspect of it or they even think about it. But I think they're emotionally bonded through trauma to a lot of these women out here, too. Like, they weren't in love, but, like, they felt like, oh, I can save her. Like, I understand her on a different level. Like, so that means I love her. But it's like, your actions
A lot of men will test you because they're waiting for the right words. Oh, I've been hurt. I'm finding myself. They pick up on that. And then they play with you, and women do too. And they play with you emotionally. So it goes back and forth. And the thing about it is what you don't realize is you're picking up what you haven't healed. And so they say you're going to continue to pick up the same type of trash until you get rid of it. And so I think that when you deal with lust is kind of like trauma bonding because you're lustfully picking up the same type of trash that you should be healing from and putting back. And I think that when you really start finding yourself and loving you, and that's real, it's a real statement, and that means spiritually going deep within yourself to find out what it is and why you keep attracting the same type of dysfunction. And that goes for men too, not just women. We all need to sit down and think, like, why do I have the same type of dysfunction every time I meet somebody, or it's similar. And I think that once you get to that point where you know your worth and you know what you can and cannot accept, it's going to be a difficult journey because nobody's perfect.
I'm glad you said that, because I think there's a lot of people that think, especially around Valentine's Day or like wedding season, like, you know, early summer, all like the married people or the people that are out there in committed relationships, like they got it all together. Like they must have found theirself. They must love theirself because they found like the one. And no, everybody's not perfect, because I think that a lot of people, they get into, you know how when they say you like marry somebody, like you're like taking all their luggage or their baggage as well. That's emotional baggage. Like that's if like they have kids, if they have past traumas, all of that. And I think those things affect every relationship in your life, whether it's your like work relationships, family relationships, your relationship with your significant other. And I think that you still have to work on yourself even inside of a relationship, or else like that's going to be the demise of your relationship.
Yeah.
It's been the demise of friendships, because
and I think it's a
out
traditional issue too, because you think about the traditional ways. First of all, going to church, you see everybody had in the church, they were either married or they were divorced. But nobody was just really saying, oh, they're dating. You never really knew, like, couples that were back in the day. You know, it was traditional to get married, regardless. Shotgun weddings. You know, oh, you going to marry her. You got her pregnant, you going to marry her. And y'all going to make a family out of this.
I've never agreed with that.
And not even knowing each other.
Yeah,
but,
like, oh, so it's just going to work because you signed a piece of paper.
But it's tradition. And so now, 2023, nobody is in tradition. Not even the churches.
I think it's in a scary way, though.
And it is.
Because I think that people are like, I don't know what the dating world is about out here. That's why I asked about it. And there's so many people getting divorced. Yeah. It's like unreal.
But you think about it, why they got married. Why did I get married? That, you know, kind of gives a real, you know, it gives a reality of it. Because why did you get married? What was the purpose of it? You know, you did it because...
I think they got married. They didn't realize that, because why were you dating?
Well, you do it because it's what you knew you had to do.
Okay, but I don't think they dealt with the reality of it. Like, before the marriage came along, I don't think people even ask that question today. Like, what is your purpose in dating? Like, they're playing with people. Like, I think it's like men and women. You're out here and not hook up. Let me not say hook up. You connect with somebody. So y'all can just be like talking on the phone, like building some type of bond and connection. And you feel like you're really investing time and energy and like a little bit of emotion. You're not fully giving away your heart. Then you realize, oh, this person is playing with me. Like, they're not just talking to me, they're talking to me and 5 other people. Okay, you were talking to me, but now 5 days later, I ain't heard from you. And that lasted for 2 weeks. Like, wait, okay, we hung out that one time, or they might have hooked up with the person, and now they don't hear from them anymore. And now that's like an emotional scar for them, because they feel like they opened themselves up.
Yep.
But, like, you didn't even ask the right questions in the beginning. Like, what are your intentions? Like, what are you out here dating for?
I think that a lot of people get caught up in the look of a person. They're looking, oh, he fine. He tall, dark, and handsome. Oh, she cute, she light-skinned, big old booty, big old breast. Oh, yeah. She thick. That's mine. Then you're now tied into it by the actual outer appearance. You don't know nothing about who this person is on the inner. And now you're twined together because you're probably having sex at this point, and y'all getting down. And so now y'all are...
but that's in the dark, behind closed doors, where don't nobody see him.
But that's it. And so now it's like a selfish kind of lust, because I like her, but I don't want nobody else to have her, because I don't want nobody else getting what I got. Vice versa. I like him, girl, but, you know, I'm going to still do this and that because, you know, I don't know where we at right now. So, really, he ain't my man. I mean, we just cool. So, I'm going to date. I'm out here doing me. And then you get in that.
They're not even having the conversation.
Not even having the conversation. Because,
the real conversation.
Because, honestly, when you really get to know a person, that's the most intimate part. Mm-hmm. It's getting to know them, who they are, where they come from, what they like, what they don't like. Can I adjust to this woman in 30 days from now? Am I going to be able to deal with this man in 30 days from now? Oh, he had 5 kids. I only seen one. Now 4 other come along. You know, what are we doing here? Nobody sits down and really has like intellect conversations. You can't converse at this point in life. You get straight down to it. Y'all having sex.
My cousin, she made a really good point. So I get like user feedback from the show. Not user, I'm sorry. Listener feedback from the show every week. And so different people write me online or they message me. So my cousin, Bennett, she had actually texted me and she had said how, because I was comparing like the generations last week. So I talked about like millennials and then Gen X and then Gen Z and all of that. And she was saying what she misses the most is like writing letters.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and people, that's how they used to get to know each other. I watch all those little like shows those time period shows like back in like, I don't know, England and like the 1700s and stuff. They like pass letters and notes to each other, kind of just like Valentine's Day, but it was like special, like it took like time and effort, like they couldn't just go and just hook up with each other. She said what she misses about back in her time was texting wasn't a thing.
Right.
I don't think people know how to communicate anymore. Absolutely. And I think the technology played a major role in that.
It made it so easier for us to just
like
be able
to know you.
No, you get somebody from Messenger and you be like, oh, he's cute, I might try him. This man is a nut.
And
or, oh, she pretty. They don't even know how she look when you get to see her.
People don't want to talk on the phone anymore because they're like, oh, I'll send you a message on social media. That's what apparently a lot of like the younger kids nowadays, they like DM each other. Like, oh, send me a message on Snapchat. Send me a message on Instagram. They do that. And so then they get in person and they don't know how to communicate because they've texted the whole time or they have sent messages and they're just quick messages. They send memes back and forth. But I do remember even me growing up, like, there was house phones at one point. You got to sit on the phone and talk to somebody and laugh and get to know them for hours. For
hours, and then you be sitting there like, okay, you still up? Yeah. Okay, you hang up. No, you hang up. I mean, that was real deep. Nobody.
Oh man, we fell asleep on the phone last night. Yeah,
that's part of intimacy, learning, and people don't understand that you can love a person. You can get to learn a person, not love a person, but get to learn a person by just listening. That's one thing that, of course, Mother always taught me. You can always hear a person by just listening. They're telling you their whole story, but you got to pay attention. You got to be a good listener. You got to have that ear, and don't get into a relationship and start telling all your personal affairs that you done dealt with over the last course of time, because no man or woman wants to pick up all your mess that you done already gone through.
Or you're just giving them a cheat sheet.
The
last person
this is
did
what you
X,
accept.
Y, and Z, and you don't want, okay, so I ain't going to do that for now.
Yeah, this is what she accepts anyway. So I'll break it down. I'll be the Mr. Nice Guy, Mrs.
And eventually,
Nice Girl.
because she stayed with this guy, or
but they gonna
he
play
stayed
on your
with
heart
her in the midst of all this, so they'll love me different. Like, and she will be so attached to me.
That's right.
And then once I start doing that,
and then when you're deep into something, but you let such and such do that too, so they bring up your past and start breaking you down. So, you know, it goes back.
Like improper communication.
Exactly. You don't do that when you know. And then if some things come up, then you can talk about it. But they know who you really are now.
But it's a time for that.
Yeah, it's
and
a time
not
for
in the beginning. It's not even. Those are like really vulnerable things that I just feel like don't bring that past relationship into your current, like, not even a relationship yet. Like, this is just the dating part. Yeah. I don't want to hear about all that.
I remember
obviously you need to deal with that because you're still hurt from it.
I remember before I got married, me and my ex-husband, we dated. We made it okay, you pick me up on Fridays. Every Friday, we made it a must to where we had to go somewhere, dinner or movie. It was one or the other, but we always made that moment. And I think we took that along until we got married, and then we stopped it, and then it was just like, whoa, what happened? But those were
that happens a lot.
But those are the best times because we got to really know each other, because we were having those moments together, and it was just him and I, and it wasn't, just straight into sex or anything like that. We're getting to know what we like to do. You get to know a person by...
It was like traditional dating.
Yeah, it was traditional.
Like people should get back to, and maybe there would be more lasting relationships. Right. But it's also knowing the person's intentions when you even get into it. If I know deep down inside, now I think a lot of people front and be like, oh, I ain't really looking for nothing, but they know internally, like, no, I want something real. Like, I want this to grow into something. I want it to be permanent. If that's what you want, you need to say it from the beginning instead of being scared you're going to run somebody off. Because if that's not what they're looking for, that's not that person for you anyway. You should figure that out right now rather than you done got your body and your heart involved.
And I think, how do we even break that tradition? Because when you think about it, when you're dating someone, or when you're even out there, and I know women are not supposed to be on the hunt, but we are. We looking. We checking them out, just like the men are supposed to be the hunters, and they supposed to be checking us out. But I mean, male, female, it's in us. It's natural. However, my thing is, when you're dealing with this part of dating, and this is the hardest part for me, you want to pay attention to how they treat their mother, or at my age, how the relationships are with their mother, how the relationship was with the father, how was it in the home, do they love their children, do they have a great relationship? Because those are very great attributes. Men or women? Both, in general. Because you got women that ain't mothers. They don't have that nature in them, to a nurturing spirit. A lot of women just having kids because they got baby daddies. But
so then you're emotional and you're trying to be vulnerable and you want them to cater to your feelings, and they're like, I could care less.
Because it's like, did you get that in the home? How did your mother love you? How did she show you love? Does that man know that side of how to be loving, that nurturing? Does he have that nurturing spirit? Is that woman a nurturing woman? Can she, deal with you as a woman? And then how was the relationship with her and her father, or him and his father? Because how is he a man? Can he be a man? How does this girl look up to her father? Did she see a man growing up?
But there's honestly, like, how do you even know that in the beginning? Like, is anybody really going to indulge in that type of conversation?
Oh, you can tell. You got to pay attention to how they're treating you in the very beginning. And it'll come out. You can't hide for too long. You'll see, So they say a man knows in 30 days if he really wants to deal with a woman or not. That's true. Because he's looking for something in her. It is something, whether it's good or bad, he's
You're
looking.
Saying deal with her, like take her serious.
To continue with her, to be, an option. She could be the one. This might be it. They're paying attention to you.
I think a woman knows, too.
A woman knows.
To an extent. Maybe it depends on her mindset going into the
I can tell by just the way the man carries himself. Is his head up high, or is he looking down when he's talking to you? Can he look at you straight in the eye, or is he looking the other way? Where's his focus at?
I think women can tell if a man is even taking them serious.
Exactly.
If they're honest with themselves.
Exactly. They'll know, are you important? Do he wake up in the morning and say, hey, good morning, just, am I the thing,
I mean, but technically, there are some players out there who they have a good morning text for 10 women.
Oh, yeah. It's a real shoot them all down. Who answers first, we're going to see. And that's deep, too. So it's really not a simple way of even looking at it, because you got to be on guard at all time. You got to be able to know the the and the okays and the he's all right. But when you're spiritually connected and you know who you are, you're gonna know. You got to go by what you're consciously thinking every day, like your consciousness. You got to be aware of certain things. And if you
really is that whole idea,
that intuition,
loving yourself and falling in love with yourself and knowing yourself, so that you can know what you're getting yourself into.
Because who you are is what you attract, and that energy, what you put out, you're going to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
That's the universal law. I don't care what nobody say. That's a given. What you put out there, you're going to get it back. So
I think that's a hard pill to swallow for some people, though. So they don't subscribe to that because it's like, okay, well, I got this no good, nothing person that I was connected to, and wasn't nothing wrong with me. Maybe if you dig a little deeper.
You don't know because
there was some stuff that you
still ain't healed from.
Yeah.
Even where I am in my singleness, I'm still having to master certain things. Mm-hmm. And even in that, I know that I'm not ready, but I know that God is. I'm preparing myself. I know He's with me in this. I know that once I'm at a point where I feel comfortable with accepting certain things about myself, where there's still things I'm still adjusting to. Oh God, I gotta stop doing that. I gotta calm down, or I gotta have some self-control in certain situations. You can't be a mess looking for greatness, and it just don't. You're not gonna get it. It don't add up. And so I think that when you get to a point of loving you, and I mean really like being okay with being by yourself, having those moments with you, getting to dig deep within your connection and finding who you really are. And when I say that, I mean like going back and deep into your roots and be like, dang, I didn't know great-great-grandma was like that. And that explains why, you're finding out your true connections.
Yeah.
And you got to do like that shadow work. You got to, the shadow is like, okay, this is who you are. Like Michael Jackson said, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. You really got to start with yourself. You can't blame nobody for picking up JT because that's my homeboy. And you done picked up JT, and JT got your daddy's traits if he was an alcoholic and he was abusive, because you ain't healed from that. And it ain't even something that you may have about you, but it's the spirit that connects to you.
Yeah.
And it's like Legion, when he said I am many, there were so many spirits connected to him.
Right.
And that's real. Like we pick up a lot of different spirits because
Which you gotta be careful.
Which you have to be careful because they attract to you, and unfortunately, you're part of that generation, and that generation from way back then. And when they say that, when they say your ancestors, you are who your ancestors are prayed for, or who they've been praying for, you got to remember that you're here to break generational curses, and you're trying to change the curve. And this may not even be for you. It could be for your grandchildren or your great grandchildren, but you're breaking those generational curses. So when you talk about love, what is really love? I mean, like, how can you love me? Do you really love you? How do you even know you love you?
So if you're dating, looking for love, like actually really, not lust, you want love. What is love to you? Like, how do you define love? Do you know what it is? Do you love yourself? Well, how do you know if you love yourself? If, like, some people have a distorted view of what love is, and maybe it's because of their own story, their own past, childhood, present, whatever.
I mean, I remember back in the day when, I can't wait to get married and have the house on the hill and the car and the husband and the 2 kids, boy and a girl, and the perfect dog. He's got the great job. Dream. Yeah. And I'm at home taking care of the kids. And you would thought that was love, but then as you get older, you're like, love is deep. Like, love is me. And how
love is complicated sometimes.
It's very complicated. And then there's so many different levels of love.
Okay, so speaking of love, so of course y'all know I always look up the definition. So I gave y'all a definition of lust. It says love, in contrast, involves feelings of intimacy, vulnerability, and putting in effort to build a stronger connection. I got another definition of love on here as well. Okay, it says love, the actual dictionary definition of it is an intense feeling of a deep affection. Okay. some people still could portray that as lust in some situations. So I specifically looked up, because I remember learning in school the different types of love, okay? So breaking it down a little further, there's 4 different types of love that are recognized all over the world, okay? Some people have 7, 8, 9, but the main 4. And so that is Eros, Philia, Storge, and Agape. Okay, so as you know, like relational love, so like a love you have like with a significant other is totally different than love you have like with your family or love you have with friends. So just to break it down really quick, Eros. Eros is an erotic, passionate love. So that's usually that love you have with your romantic partner. Philia is the love you have for like friends and equals. Okay, so like I love you as like my best friend, or like I don't know, some people love people like they go to church with, like it's a real type of love, but it's different. It's more like I have your back, you have my back.
You have coworkers you love.
Yeah, I'm compassionate for you.
Yeah.
Then the Storge is a love of parents for their children. That's, I mean, we're both mothers. We know, like, that's a totally different type of love. And that love is shown in different ways, too. And oddly enough, all of them involve some degree of affection as well, too. And the very last one, agape, which a lot of people, you hear that term associated with the Bible. It's like a spiritual type of love, is the love of mankind. So it's that unconditional, selfless type of love where it's like, God loves us all no matter what. He gets no benefit out of this. You can be good, bad, horrible, but he loves you anyway. And so what do you think of like those different types of love? Like, do you think that there's a difference between loving your family versus loving your friends? Or how does that Storge love, which is the love between your family, your parents, how does that affect your relational love, that Eros love, that passionate romantic love?
Well, first of
I know it was jam packed.
It's like a whole circle for me. It's like it all kind of connects together. Number one, we're very important. We're very important creatures. That's why we're here, because God is automatically showing us His love based off of all of this. When you think about it, and I guess like for me, I've been single, I've been married, I've been in a long relationship, and now I'm, here again at a place where I'm not singling myself out again. I'm not going to say I'm single, and I have here lately, but I don't like the word single because it singles you out, and that's not what love is about. You don't single yourself out. The journey is to love. And for me,
in all those aspects,
I love my children. I think that if you go back to having children, I had no clue. But the older they got and the more important that life means to me, I realized that loving my children is even more important. I may not have loved them the way that I did back in 1993, 94, because I didn't even know who I was. But now in 2023, going forward, I know I have that love. Like, I know that these are my children, and Lord, please cover them. So that's important to me. Then, when it comes to relationships, friends, I cherish my friends. I still have the same friends from second grade. I may not talk to them all the time, but I still love them. Each one of them have a certain kind of love in my heart. So I know how to love my friends. I know how to come back when it's time to come back.
Right.
And I know how to be there when it's time to be, in their lives at, like, very important times, And then when it comes to, of course, the family love, family in general,
Parents.
brothers, sisters, parents, that's challenging. That's a very challenging love because we're our parents' children, and we're all different. We all bring something different to the table, but when we come together like that fist, and it's a powerful blow because we all bring something to the table that represents mom and daddy. So we want to continue that generation with how my dad was very, he taught us one thing, and that was to love.
Mm-hmm.
He taught us how to forgive, and he taught us how to love. And so when you have someone that can exemplify that in the household, that's very important. My daddy loved his kids no matter what. Now, he may not have been the best husband, boyfriend, and that's okay.
But is it possible that also shaped your ideals
of a man?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And love in some aspects.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. That
it's so
that's why I said
love,
that like, it's complicated.
Family love is complicated.
It can be like good and bad. Like there may have been good aspects, like you're saying, oh, great father. Maybe not the greatest like husband at one point.
That family love can be so complicated. Love is complicated. Love
it's work.
It's work. We're so important.
They say love is an action word.
It is. It's every action. You got to put everything into it. And that's a fight. And that's the battlefield right there, because you're not only protecting your own spirit, you're trying to be a mother and protect your children. If you're married, you're trying to cover your husband and your family. At the same time, you're still a daughter. If your parents are still living, God bless. You want to make sure that your mother and father are okay. You have siblings that you want to be connected to, but y'all are so different. But you still want to love them because them are your brothers and sisters.
And some people feel that way, like about all their family members.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, like you said, love is extremely complicated. Some people feel that way about their friends, their best friend. That's what people say, like, oh, this is my friend, but they're really more like family because I love them that much. I mean, but at the end of the day, I think all of those relationships, I don't think that you can properly manage them without loving yourself. So just like it's kind of dangerous to get out there in the dating world and be all hyped up about the hype of Valentine's Day, but like you really got some serious issues you need to work on with you. Like, how can you be a great friend? How can you be a great like sibling? How can you be a great daughter? How can you be a great significant other? But like, you need to be a great you. Like, and I don't even think you got to be perfect, but like that brokenness in you is going to affect all of your relationships.
Everything. Yeah. And that's
I think why you're more susceptible to hurt as well too.
Exactly. And that's why like Valentine's Day, you can't get caught up in the hype of it. This is 2023. First of all, it's a made up holiday. Let's be real.
It is.
It's just a fictional day that we're gonna
I mean, Christmas as well. You like gifts on Christmas.
People all like gifts on Christmas,
and they like it on their birthday. All of that.
And my birthday is in December, so it's real bad. But
yeah.
But the bottom line is that when and nobody really goes deep into this connection. And that's why we're so all over the place with this topic, because it's so deep, because it goes back to love. And the thing about it is that we have to really understand that this is a journey we're on. It's life. And it's only one life we're given. And how we deal with this is determining how your babies are going to live their lives in the future. My grandchildren are going to live their lives by my children. And then my children are living their lives by correcting how I've taught them. It's so deep to love you and not get caught up in anything in this world. Because they said, and the Bible says, don't be conformed to this world. Because it's a hype. And we get so caught up in it, we lose ourselves.
I get it. My rebuttal is we celebrate Christmas, right? We get gifts Christmas. Like, I get you a gift, you give me a gift. We get our kids gifts, whatever. Valentine's Day couldn't come around and you tell me, like, oh, I did nothing. It's just any other day. Because also, if you say that you love somebody, like, it could be a simple gesture to say, like, I know this is the day the world recognizes, like, love and Valentine's and all that. So, like, here's something even simple I did for you. I'm not posting it online or nothing. Or you can or you can't, whatever y'all do. But, like, I wanted to do something for you. Just showing you, just like on your anniversary. Like, they do something. That you get something. Even if it's like a special handwritten letter. So I feel like if you're going to celebrate everything else and you say you love me, then you should, like, show that, even if it's a simple gesture.
And
I do that. Like, I do on the reverse. Like, I get my husband something. Like, we're not, like, going all out. Even if it's, like, I went and got you, like, a little cake and, like, a card. Like, because it's the words. Like, it's my way of communicating love. It's, like, words of affirmation. It's, like, the gifts. And it's simple. But it's, like, telling you I thought about you on today. Where everything around me is about love. I want you to know that I love you and I appreciate you as well. And I want you to smile. I get my kids something because I love them. And I know that that's what that whole day is about. And even if they got a box of heart chocolates, like, they're happy. It's like, oh, I'm special.
I think that if it goes for husband and wife, I think that if you are just together, that's enough.
It is.
That's just enough right there. All the superficial
stuff. Write me
stuff.
a letter that says I love you on a notebook paper.
But even if you're right there together and just enjoying the moment, that's love.
But you planned, okay. Like I said, we had a picnic at home one year.
That's love.
And it was like little simple stuff, but we watched a movie together. That was intentional. That's love. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think that it's always the hype of it. I think that if you're just with someone that who gets you, who you truly care about, that's love right there. You're both exemplifying it. You're telling him what you like. You're showing him what you like. I think
we need to do something.
Right. It's got to.
Like, I'm serious.
Yeah. I mean, and that can be. I think that goes every day. I mean, every day ain't perfect.
Yes, but every day people are not doing something. There are liars out there, like saying, I do something special for him or for her every day. I'm not celebrating this day. No, you don't.
I think that if you just are there and you're enjoying each other in the moment, because I never say life is too short. Life is important. Because we don't speak short into the life of where we're at this point. But it's important, and I think that if you are with the people that are important to you, that is love. If you're a single woman and you don't have anybody,
I think you should treat yourself.
I think you should love you and be okay with
like what is going to make you happy on today. Yeah. If it makes you happy to go get you some ice cream or to watch like a love story or
Plan your
take
day
the
out.
night off. Like, I think you should
plan your day out. Go get coffee in the morning.
I don't think
you
Valentine's
like
Day
Starbucks?
is just about couples.
No.
I think it's all of those forms of love.
Exactly.
I think you could show it to your kids or your family
I
or
was
yourself.
mention the kids. If it's just you and your children, then those are God's gifts. That's something to love because gifts are hard to get. You know, and so that's a gift in itself because you gave life to something. And there's a lot of women out here that are just by themselves with no children. And that's hard to deal with.
Even the men that are out here by themselves, some of them are by themselves.
Single men with no children.
Or they have children, they don't have kids.
But find the love in you. Because your most intimate moment is that aha moment with yourself. When God answers something for you and you've been dealing with it for so long and you find you in it, that's a gift because that's growth.
Yeah.
Find something about you to love. Even if you are married with a husband or wife, you still got to love you. You just connected to a person
I feel
that gets you.
Yeah, like there's married people out there, they buy themselves a gift. They don't know what their spouse is going to get them, but I want to buy myself something because this makes me happy and this is a happy day.
Go get your, whatever. Go get your shoes. Go get a new purse. I mean, if you wear lashes, go get lashes. You want some extra hair, get your extra hair. Get your nails done. Whatever makes you
yourself,
happy.
Just like
men, I mean, you can go go get your feet done. Go get your nails done. I mean, go buy a nice little jogging suit. You know, the little gray sweatpants y'all be wearing. Go on and get them sweatpants.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
I'm single.
Okay, yeah. But I know we can literally talk forever about this.
That's
so
right.
just for this week, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, y'all. So I hope that you definitely enjoyed our great conversation.
Oh, I got to give a shout out.
Oh, wait, no.
Speaking of love.
Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I gave birth today. Happy birthday, Jarrell.
You did not give birth today.
How many years ago?
Okay. I did not take her out the hospital, I promise.
Wait, is it 23 years or 24 years? I had a lost. It's 24 years of, my son. He's 24 years around the sun. Happy birthday, Jarrell. Mommy loves you.
Oh, look at that story, Jay.
See what I'm saying? That's that love. That's that love, girl. It's the love thing.
So, just to do our quick little wrap-ups like we always do, y'all have some local, trending news. So, I went into the Dollar Tree the other day. Y'all know, the special thing about Dollar Tree is that everything was once $1, okay? Now, I already know they turned everything into $1.25, I don't know, some point last year. I felt some type of way about that. I was actually highly upset. But I'm not even talking about the Dollar Tree because of that extra 25 cents today. I went into the Dollar Tree yesterday and they had changed around everything in the store. And I don't know if this is the case in other states as well, but in Kansas City, Missouri, they literally had a whole aisle that I looked up and I saw a $3 price tag and a $5 price tag. And it's called the $1 Plus section.
Absolutely.
What is this?
Inflation.
I was so mad. First of all, the price of eggs has already gone up, okay? You can't afford anything out here. Now the Dollar Tree is turning into the Family Dollar and the Dollar General, and I feel some type of way.
And you want me to go buy Beyonce's tickets?
Okay, let's just go ahead and get into the music streaming. Beyonce. Okay, everybody knows I'm a proud member of the Beehive, okay? I know all of her songs until this last recent album. That's another show, another topic for another day. World tour, okay? She announced this world tour after she performed in Dubai and got paid, what did she get paid? A ridiculous amount of money. Was it billions? Okay. Got paid all that good money. Only her performing. And now she puts out a world tour, and puts the dates online. And from what I hear, these prices are astronomical. I'm going to have to, hang up my badge. I can't do it. I love her, but, and I've been to one of her concerts before. It was an amazing experience, but, I'm not about to spend, crazy money, $500 and $600 plus to go and see her. I just can't do it.
Yeah, life is important. I'm going to pass.
Well, hey.
And speaking of pass, who we loving?
Chiefs. Yeah, okay. Super Bowl coming up. I got my money on us.
All day long.
Now,
it's a win-win.
Now, I hear that, okay, so I actually watched a little press conference yesterday with Mahomes, and I guess they were saying, they were joking with him when they said that Ree as in Rihanna, said that he was...
the little shout out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was her favorite quarterback. But then at the very end of it, I'm like, did I hear that wrong? They were like, oh, we're just joking with you. But he was low-key blushing.
He was.
It was cute.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I liked it. So
I thought he was really hyped up for it.
Okay.
So, and he is.
He is.
He's young. They got to give it to him.
I don't know. They said we got a lot of competition.
Yeah, well, we
Eagles.
do.
But, I got faith in us. So.
But, we've had competition all year long.
We have.
And the year before that. And the year before that. We're going to come up on top. Regardless of where we are, win-win is a win. We're going to be all right. Go Chiefs. We got this.
Okay, and then very last thing in music streaming, if you don't watch any of the rest of the game, which you should because the Chiefs are very entertaining, but Rihanna will be performing at the halftime.
And it's free. You ain't even got to give up your house and income tax check. It's free.
Free. Somebody said Beyonce puts out her world tour every time around tax season.
But here's the thing about tax season. You ain't getting $4,000, $5,000 this year.
That's true, too.
You're getting your stimmies back. So you're not about to pay $4,000 in income tax.
That is
ain't
true,
gonna work.
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It ain't happening.
Well, I will be watching Ree. She ain't put out a CD, and I don't know how. I always say CD, like I'm aging myself. Okay, an album in like years, so I don't know what she's gonna perform.
So here comes the album after the performance. So just get ready.
I'm sure. Now, now Beyonce could drop it before, and everybody know all the words before she even performs at the Super Bowl. But that's Beyonce, then
Well, we gonna root for Riri because she free.
This
and
is
this
is true. Okay,
we're gonna have a great free weekend.
Exactly.
There we go.
Okay, and y'all know I end each show with a quote, or I have a quote at some point. So this is in honor of love, our topic, and in honor of Black History Month. That's so right. Definitely have to shout that out, month of February.
Love your melanin.
Exactly.
That comes
#melanin.
That's right.
So the quote is, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. By the one and only Martin Luther King Jr.
That's right.
And I think that was a perfect quote to wrap up the show. Y'all, tell me all of your thoughts. Send me your messages on Instagram. Follow me at SheIsTwinkle1. Do you want followers yet? You want to? Okay. Okay.
I am Nina Watts on Instagram. You can follow me at I am Nina Watts.
Okay. And y'all just please be sure to tune in to next week's episode. Y'all, I think that you have been a great guest.
Thank you.
Great conversation. I can't wait till you come back.
Shout out to my 85-year-old daddy that gets to see the Super Bowl again.
Oh, shout out. Okay, so you got all these great shout outs today. Y'all.
That's love. That's love.
Well, other than that, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been another episode of Excuse Me, I'm Speaking. Thank you for speaking with me today, our special guest, and I will see you guys next week. Please be sure to follow, to like, to subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.